Most people think money is about luxury. Codie Sanchez realized early on, it's actually about something much more terrifying.
Ambassadorships in the US. And so you could Google right now and see what the average ambassadorship in the US costs. The answer is about $1 million directly donated to a president, plus a couple $1 million donated in a PAC. So Bruce bought the ambassadorship, which I thought was fascinating. And I was like, shit, I didn't realize that was for sale. Like, that's you just buy those things? That's so bizarre. And that flipped my perspective entirely to realize, oh man, money really just is power. And can you imagine how wide open your ability?
That was Codie Sanchez. She's an ex-journalist, ex-Wall Street investor, and the woman who made boring businesses like laundromats and car washes sexy. She argues that the path to freedom isn't through being a genius, it's through ownership. This is Synthesize, where we turn long podcast conversations into their most important ideas. The full interview with Steven Bartlett is linked below. Let's break down the mechanics of wealth. We live in a culture that sells the 20-year-old millionaire dream, Lamborghinis, crypto, instant gratification. Codie argues that if you want to win, you have to accept a brutal truth about your early career.
Suggests that maybe a child you have someday or a friend that is 20 years old should play their 20s. What is the best advice for a 20-year-old?
The best advice for a 20-year-old is to realize that your 20s do suck. That you are probably drinking too much, you're hanging out with people that aren't the best versions of themselves, neither are you. You've got crazy hormones going on. You're going to bars and hanging out with people, having a few too many drinks, and then going to a job you kind of hate because you're brand new into the workforce. And so of course you're doing the worst thing humanly possible. And that's going to continue for like 5 to 10 years.
This is the concept of front-loading the pain. If you try to live a life of comfort in your 20s, you often pay for it with mediocrity in your 30s and 40s. The insight here is to trade your time not just for money, but for skills that compound. You are being paid to learn. So once you've learned the skills, how do you escape the salary trap? You don't need to invent the next Facebook. You need what Codie calls a gateway drug business.
And that's definitely my addiction.
Speaking of addictions, gateway drug businesses.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned the term earlier. What does that mean?
Gateway drug business is a business that is so simple that you can explain it to your grandmother. Mm-hmm. And also, you can probably run it even if you've never run a business before. And those are things like laundromats, car washes. I talk about those two in particular because if you can't understand cleaning clothes, and if you can't understand cleaning cars, probably don't do any business. There's the 1%.
The goal here isn't to be a laundromat mogul forever. The goal is to learn the physics of business, profit, loss, hiring, firing, in a low-stakes environment. It's about building the muscle memory of ownership without risking $1 billion. But the biggest objection is always the same. I don't have the money to buy a business. This is where most people stop, and this is where the deal-maker mindset begins.
Hundreds of thousands. I'm going to have to wait till I'm rich.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can't buy it with your 700 extra bucks, but you could buy it with your sweat and your time. So there's 3 ways to buy a business. You can either use cash, you can use expertise, or you can use time, or what I call sweat equity. So think about it right now. I buy a bunch of businesses, I have a ton of cash. You know what I don't have a lot of? Operators. I don't have a lot of people who can go actually run the business that I want them to run. But if I had a young guy who was super hungry and I could give him $100,000 to go operate the business that I was going to go run, I would probably.
This is called sweat equity. You are trading your time and energy, which you have in abundance, for capital, which you lack. It reframes the economy from, I need money to make money, to I need energy to earn ownership. Once you understand that deals can be structured without cash, the world starts to look different. It stops looking like a rigid set of rules and starts looking malleable.
How people will take one of those iron rods, really strong iron rod, and you heat it up and it's just like, bink, it just bends immediately, right? Yeah. But if you were going to try to brute force it, it never would. But once you see them heat it up and then bend real easy, you go, oh, well, I'm never going to try to brute force that again, because look how easy that is if you just heat it up. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of the hack of life, is just figuring it out.
Codie calls this the Banister effect, or the reality distortion field. The heat is your intensity and obsession. The time is your consistency. When you apply both, obstacles that look solid, like industry gatekeepers or lack of funds, tend to bend. But there is one thing that will kill your ability to bend reality faster than anything else. It's the story you tell yourself about why you can't succeed.
Universe gives you when you tell the universe that I struggle because I am a woman in business. It's going to give you struggle. What do you think the universe would give you if instead you said, I have such incredible opportunity because I look different than everybody here, and if I am good, I am so much more memorable than every Tom, Dick, and Larry in a blue suit that looks just like everybody else? What if the thing that you think is your biggest weakness and the thing that makes you feel excluded and less than is actually your biggest strength? And if you could flip your mindset on that, how much more money and opportunity would you have?
This is controversial, but it's a critical mindset shift. It's not about denying that prejudice exists. It's about refusing to let it be the governing dynamic of your life. If you are different, you are memorable. If you are memorable, you have an edge. Use it. Codie Sanchez's philosophy isn't just about money. It's a framework for agency. Front-load the pain. Sacrifice your 20s to build the skill stack. Seek ownership. Use sweat equity to buy into boring cash flow, not just hype. Reject victimhood. Treat every disadvantage as a differentiator. The question she leaves us with is simple. If money is just a tool for power and business is just a game of heat and time, what are you currently brute forcing that you should be bending? If this analysis helped you see the game differently, you'll probably enjoy our next analysis. The link to the full interview with Codie Sanchez is in the description. See you in the next one.